And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting, politically correct world. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father. I have no idea what I'm doing, but you and either they're chiefy, so let's try and learn something together today. Website is dadmodepod.com. If you want to tweet us, tweet at dadmodepod or just use the hashtag dadmode. So I'm not sure if I teased this last week, but it was really exciting. We took Margaret to her first movie theater movie, and she probably could have gone earlier. I do wonder what the cutoff age for kids at a theater is, because you have to think about your fellow movie goers as well and make sure that their experience is good. So if the kid can be quiet and attentive for 90 minutes and they're 2, I mean, that's fine. But I mean, some 4, 5, 6-year-olds, which we'll get to, probably shouldn't be at the theater, that whole thing. So we'll talk about the strategy that went into getting Margaret through her first movie. She enjoyed it. Toy Story 4 was a great movie. I'm a big fan of the Toy Story franchise as a whole. Also, here's the thing, trying to be a dad, trying to be a man, trying to be a dude. But if you don't cry your balls off, Toy Story, especially Toy Story 3, when at the end, I guess we can do spoilers because movies came out 5-10 years ago. It's Toy Story 2, when they do the Jessie backstory, and then she gets dropped off at the donations. Get you right here. And Toy Story 4, no spoilers here, but the end will certainly get you. Also, very surprising at the end. There will be a twist that you did not see coming, and overall, it was a great movie, and Margaret was amazing. She was a champ there. She had her Toy Story 4 shirt on. She was all excited, ready to go. Spent the morning at the zoo, and the entire time at the zoo. Now, she loves the zoo. She loves walking around. She loves seeing the animals, and she generally likes to dawdle, take her time there. But the entire time we were at the zoo in the morning, because we went to a matinee on a Saturday, it was, is it time for Toy Story 4? It's time for Toy Story 4. Is it time? Is it time yet? So she was pumped up. She was fired up and ready to go. And then eventually, we get to the theater. And I will say this. Buying assigned seats in movie theaters ahead of time is amazing. Because especially when you have an opening weekend movie, even if it's a matinee, you know that there's going to be some bodies there. People are going to want to see it. Especially a family movie. Since you're not going to take your kid to the 9 o'clock showing of Toy Story. I don't even know if they do that, but just that peace of mind, reducing anxiety is like, all right, so we got to get to the movie 40 minutes early, just as they're finishing up, cleaning up the earlier show, just so we aren't stuck in the front or in the way back, even though the way back is fine. Overall, my thoughts on movie theater seats are they're all fine as long as they're not right up in front. That is it. But it is cool that you can go in, you can buy them online, reserve them. And yeah, some people don't like that. But also, I greatly dislike the pilot fish, the Pathfinder person that they send. Like the family of 12, the extended family of 12, the aunts and the uncles and all the other cousins are coming to watch Toy Story 4. And then they send like the one shrill aunt, and she tries to put like coats and hats over the middle 12 seats in the choices aisle. Get out of here. Get all the way the hell out of here. And plus, and then the other 11 don't even come in till like halfway through the trailers, and you're really into the trailers because the trailers are the best part of the movie, and they're loud, and the kids are screaming that they all this entitlement because we have reserved seats. Got here. So I actually do think that buying reserved seats ahead of time is more democratic, as weird as it sounds, as opposed to the general admission scene. Because I think if they did a baseball game like that, where, some baseball stadiums have general admission in, say, bleacher seats, or if you fly Southwest and they got general admission, it's a poop show. It really is a poop show. You got your seat. You can show up on time right when the trailers start. You can take your time in the lobby, getting the popcorn and the pop and all that stuff, and you don't have to sweat it. So that's what we did. Also, the theater we went to, they got the super nice seats, the ones that recline. You can push a button, they recline, they lean all the way back. They're super wide, super comfortable, and amazing. And I actually think the seats did play a role in why Margaret was able to sit still for... How long was that movie? Let me look it up. Toy Story 4. I think it was a little bit longer than a normal kids movie. It was 100 minutes, so hour and 40 minutes. So I was like, yeah. And also since we stayed through the credits, because we were told to stay through the credits, and all it was no spoilers. But if you want to skip the credits, the end credits scene, it's fine. And I actually do think that the seats help. And also, Margaret loves popcorn. And we would run a joke of like, we'll get the popcorn with a little bit of butter. And then she's like, no, all the butter. Because when we do movie night at home, we pop some popcorn and we go heavy on the butter. And the weird thing is, it is such a juxtaposition to original thinking from 10, 15 years ago when everyone's like fat phobic. Is like, oh, no butter. We'll just eat all of these carbs, when it's actually just the carbs that are bad. I'd be better off just eating the butter, but argument for another day. So she was pumped up. We got the massive giant tub for the three of us, and also, we don't let her drink pop, but this being a special occasion, we were like fine. And of course she picks the diesel cherry Pepsi because she's a great kid and she knows what she wants. So we get this 64-ounce monstrosity of cherry Pepsi just loaded up with all the butter. And of course you got to sneak in candy to the movie theater because it's highway robbery otherwise. And everyone does it. Even the people at the counter, they know. It's like, hey, why is everyone only buying popcorn and we've only sold like 2 things of candy? Yet at the end of the day, all these candy boxes are in the theaters. I don't know. It is so strange. Something's not strange is being responsible and preparing for the worst case scenario. TrustandWill.com is estate planning simplified. You can gain peace of mind protecting your assets and your family, and it only takes 10 minutes to finish up online. Very easy to do, and wills and trusts start at $39. Offering guardianships, wills, and trusts in all 50 states. We've done it, and it is so easy to use. The TrustandWill.com interface is so easy. You just answer a few questions, and you are set up and ready to go. Because you don't want to think about the worst case scenario, except you have to be ready for it. That's part about being a parent. That's part about being responsible. And also, hey, get you some responsible savings. Take 10% off by going to trustandwill.com/dadmode or entering promo code dadmode at trustandwill.com. Again, take 10% off by going to trustandwill.com/dadmode, or you can just enter the promo code dadmode at trustandwill.com. Get planned, get ahead of things, trustandwill.com. So Margaret went with the gummy bears. The wife went with the Raisinets, which are very key. When do you eat chocolate-covered raisins or even chocolate-covered peanuts when not in a theater? Now, chocolate-covered peanuts, Christmas, because you think of the peanut clusters covered in chocolate, and that's fine. And then I went, don't eat a lot of sugar nowadays because I'm trying to just stave off the dad bod as long as possible. Get my carbs from beer. But destroyed the popcorn. Had a bunch of pop. Also got the Starburst. I didn't know that they have the Starburst now where you can get 2 colors. So you can get an entire sleeve of Starburst that is just red and pink alternating. It is amazing. I just destroyed like 2 of those. Even before the movie started. That's the thing at the theater too. It was like you get there generally 5-10 minutes before the trailers start, just out of habit, right? And then you watch all the trailers. This one had like 7 trailers, by the way. I suppose it is a Disney movie, and they're trying to get all these kids hyped up because they had like the Lion King live action one, even though Margaret's not really into that. Frozen 2, which everyone's into. They honestly had 7 trailers in the beginning. This movie didn't get started until like 20 minutes after it was supposed to. But I guess that happens. And Margaret was great. She sat, she watched the movie. A couple of times her voice got a little excited when she was like, "Oh, it's Forky," or "Oh, it's Ham." She loves evil Dr. Porkchop. But of course, that's fine. That's normal. There's just trying to keep your kids under wraps because it was. The theater was probably about 3/4 full, which is kind of big for a noonish matinee on a Saturday. And parents there with their kids, for the most part, and a lot of the kids did great. I mean, some a little rambunctious at the beginning, but the parents thankfully reeled them in. And I think that's the thing about the theater too, is that you have to teach the kids that you have to be cognizant and wary and respectful about other people. It's like, hey, they paid for the movie as well. They want to enjoy it. So, stay quiet. Don't be on your phone during the movie. Don't be doing things that will be distracting or loud, because, think of if someone else is doing it, and would be no bueno. Also, it's maybe weird. I'm an advocate for cleaning up after yourself at the theater. So this may be dumb. What I actually do is we get the popcorn. And then I'll get an extra popcorn bag, like the smaller sleeve of popcorn, and I'll just use that as a trash bag. So all the candy wrappers go in there, and then eventually that bag goes into the empty popcorn bin, and then you put the pop in there as well. Then you dump it in the garbage on the way out, because, spilling some popcorn, it's inevitable. It's fine, and that's why they go through and sweep the floors. But I just hate the sort of lazy pass the buck feelings that, well, someone else is getting paid to do their job, so this isn't my job. And you see it's at restaurants too, especially like fast food restaurants where people just leave all their garbage and the tray on the table. It's like you're walking out the door. They have those garbages near the door for a reason, and it's really no skin off your nose to just dump the tray and then put the tray on top of the garbage can, just like every other human being. This whole entitlement thing is like, oh, congrats, you spent $7.99 on a Whopper meal. That does not make you king poop. Same thing with movie theaters. But also one of the great things too is the big seats that fold out. So this sort of, I'm not really germophobic, but Margaret flipped around and then she was sitting like belly side down, like face pointing towards the movie theater, and it's just like, man, how many butts have been there? And there are these faux leather seats, and it's just like, how many butts are like 2 inches from your chin right now, Margaret? I don't know. But it was a really big success, and looking for she isn't really into Lion King. Like, we tried to show her the animated movie a couple times, hasn't really taken, so we'll probably sit out the animated Lion King movie. Also, I think that one drops about the time The Boy will be coming out. But Frozen 2, definitely going to be in the pipeline come November. I'm actually pretty excited about that one because it looks dark. It looks dark. It looks like some stuff is going to go down. And, yeah, I understand that a lot of parents do have some sort of PTSD when it comes to Frozen because they probably watched it nine bazillion times, myself included. But, I mean, Frozen 2 could be good. It's not going straight to DVD. There's too much money to be made. So there it is. Go see Toy Story 4, and, take your kids to the movies. They will love it. They'll enjoy it, and it's just really great memories. Because I remember... We didn't go to a lot of movies when I was a kid because the closest theater was 30 minutes away. But I do vividly remember when we saw Apollo 13. So what year did that one come out? Because when I was growing up, I was a pretty big space nerd. I was a weird kid. So I was a space nerd and a Civil War history nerd. Yeah, try to figure that one out. So Apollo 13, when that came out in 1995, so I would have been 10. I vividly remember going to the theater with Dad, and we took a couple of my buddies, and we got tons of popcorn, and we watched this hour, 140-minute movie. Wait a minute. Did I get the movie time wrong? Oh, no, I got it right. So we watched this 140-minute movie, so that's 2 hours and 20 minutes, and then just drained the swamp of all of the Sprite. Yeah, and when you're a kid, you mix the Sprite and the mellow yellow because a lot of movie theaters have Coke. Yeah, so you can't get Mountain Dew, so you got to go with mellow yellow. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, baby. I actually shuddered to think how much soda, how much pop I drank as a kid. And how many adults still drink that much pop today. Because, I'm not going to lie, after I drank that, probably say 20 ounces of that diesel cherry Pepsi, I was done. I felt I needed a nap. And there's people out there who drink like 3 Cokes a day, like 3 full-on glass bottle Mexican sugar Cokes a day. Oy, it's rough. Something's Not Rough is spreading the word about the show. If you enjoy us, tell a friend, spread the word in your dad and parenting groups. And shows available on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at DadMoPod. Me and Andy Carlson Show. The website is dadmopod.com. But until next time, be a man, be a father, go dad mode, and we'll smell you later.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go dad mode. The music is created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/Deeb.